Federal agents swept through one of the most notorious child sex trafficking corridors in the United States on Wednesday, arresting 9 people accused of selling girls as young as 14 for sex on the streets of Los Angeles. The arrests took place near a 3.5-mile stretch of Figueroa Street in South Los Angeles known as the Blade, a road where girls walk from car to car in stilettos, soliciting customers to meet their traffickers' nightly quotas. Some of these girls wear hair bows. Some dangle condoms from Hello Kitty lingerie. Many have their faces, necks, and bodies tattooed with the street names and logos of the men who control them, marks that brand them as property and make it harder for them to walk away. A federal indictment unsealed Wednesday named more than 50 victims. Investigators identified 5 additional victims during the sweep itself. Bill Asaley, the top federal prosecutor in Los Angeles, was blunt about the scale of what remains unknown. "We really don't know how many victims are out there," he said. "The more of these arrests we do, we get more information, we get more evidence, we get into their phones, we discover more and more victims." 6 of the 9 defendants are identified as members of the Hoover Criminal Gang, a group that formed in the late 1960s and has long controlled much of the sex trafficking along the Figueroa corridor, including many of the area's motels. Among those arrested was the manager of the Stadium Inn and Spas, a motel where prosecutors say victims were held and sexually exploited. A 10th arrest connected to the case had already taken place on Monday. Court documents describe acts of extreme violence used to control the victims. Cameron Lockett, 23 years old, is accused of beating one victim on her back and ribs, biting off a chunk of her cheek, and then pressuring her to lie to hospital staff when she went in for stitches. Caled Mouton, 26, allegedly ordered one of the girls to have an abortion and then required her to continue having sex with customers just hours after the procedure. Jorge Melendez, also 23, is accused of punching a 14-year-old girl in the face at least 5 times and dragging her by her hair because she had not met her nightly quota. The Wednesday operation came 9 months after the New York Times published a detailed investigation into Los Angeles' sex trafficking crisis, built on more than 2 years of interviews with victims, aid workers, and officials. That reporting drew widespread national outrage and focused public attention on what had been happening in plain sight on Figueroa Street for years. Asaley called the entire scheme, from top to bottom, absolutely disgusting and horrific. Federal prosecutors say the investigation is ongoing, more victims continue to be identified, and behind every new arrest, the phones reveal more. That's the report for today. Thanks for listening.